I totally forget who it was, but I promised one of you out there that if I made partner, I'd make a video about the Force. And I keep my word. It'll be difficult to do this video without using clips from the movies, but there's copyright issues. I'll do what I can. So here's the thing. Most folks see the light side of the Force as good, the dark side as evil. And I can see why. The Darksiders are the ones conquering the galaxy, blowing up planets, strangling people with their minds, etc., etc. And there are quotes from the movies too, like when Obi-Wan described Darth Vader as being twisted and evil, or when Yoda told Luke to go into that dark side cave on Dagobah, he described it as a domain of evil. And the Lightsiders are always saving innocents by blowing up Death Stars, defeating bad guys, rescuing people, that kind of thing. Heck, just calling them light and dark has certain implications to the human psyche, since we associate light with good and dark with evil. But when one listens to the descriptions of how each side is meant to be used, the actual manner of application of each side, I don't think it's quite so cut and dry. Listen to how Yoda tells Luke to use the Force, how Yoda tells Luke he will know the good side from the bad. He says that Luke will know when he is calm, at peace, passive. Watch how Qui-Gon sits and meditates when Darth Maul stalks him like an animal on the other side of that force field. By contrast, listen to what the Emperor tells Luke, what Vader tells him. They demand that he give in to his feelings to use the dark side. Yes, they stress negative feelings, but you notice that the Jedi do not tell anyone to employ happiness to use the light side of the Force. They tell one to use passivity, to flow with the Force, rather than directing it yourself. Jedi are told to clear their mind, not to think, just to let go and allow the Force to guide them. When you put it all together, it paints a fairly specific picture, really. The light side of the Force is not about goodness or right over wrong, but about passivity and acceptance. One might even say surrender, though not in the concession sense. The dark side is not about anger, hate, and evil, but rather about emotion, about passion. If one were to use the Force in a state of extreme ecstasy, that would technically be the dark side, despite not being evil. It sure as hell isn't the light side of the Force, not passive as we're told the light side is supposed to be. But of course, negative emotions are so much easier to summon than positive ones, and it would be difficult to not end up using the dark side in anger eventually, which is apparently a big honkin' trap for Force users. Still, despite protests to the contrary, it's pretty clear from the evidence of the films that the dark side is not inherently evil, nor are negative emotions necessary to use the dark side. It's pretty apparent that it's passion that is what controls the dark side, while passivity controls the light. If they are, indeed, opposites of each other, as is implied by their names, then this makes perfect sense. Mind you, this is all speculation. I've never seen an example of anybody trying to use the Force in the throes of positive passion, only in anger, or in passivity in the case of the light side. I suppose it's possible that passion does nothing for the Force, and the dark side truly is evil and based on things like anger and fear. But from looking at the evidence of the films objectively, this is at least a reasonable extrapolation of the data. May the Force be with you.